Good day, everyone. Welcome back to MATHBalik Tanaw, and for this episode, we will be discussing logical connectives. So, connectives such as and, or, not, and if then can be used in forming compound statements. So, we have two categories for connectives. First, we have logical connective. Here we have conjunctive or the and connective. Next is the disjunctive or the or connective. And lastly, we have the negation or the not connective. Next, for the premise and conclusion, we have implication or the if-then connective and biconditional or the if and only if connective. Now we will be having examples to discuss further what will be the flow on using these connectives. So first, we will be having a um, symbols and letters to language. So we'll be using letters to represent a specific statements for us to convert each statements in a easier way. So let P be today is Friday. Q, it is raining. R, I am going to a movie. And S, where I am not going to a basketball game. So for the first example, as you can see, we have the negation or the not connective and the statement or which is I am going to a movie. Since we have a negation symbol or not connective before the R statement, so for the original statement is I am going to a movie. So the converted statement will be I am not going to a movie. So we just added the not connective here to apply the negation or the not connective to form a new structure of the statement. So next we have the second example. As you can see, we have a conjunctive or the end connective, and we have the P and Q statement, which is today is Friday and it is raining. So, I already said the converted sentence, but or statement, but yes, the converted statement will be today is Friday and it is raining. So it is a an easier example since we just needed to combine or connect the two statements by adding the conjunctive or the end connective here. Then next, we have a two connective and two statement example. So we have the negation or not connective and the disjunctive or the or connective. So we have the S and R statement, which is I am not going to the basketball game and I am going to a movie. So some of you might be confused since there's already a not word in the original statement of the letter S. So what we're going to do, we will just, since we have a negation or not connective before the statement S, here in the example, we will just simply omit the not word from the original statement. And we'll be connecting the two statements by using the disjunctive or the or connective. So the converted statement will be, I am going to the basketball game or I am going to a movie. As you can see, there we already omit the not word from the original statement since we have a negation symbol before the S statement, and we combined or connect the two statements by using the disjunctive or applying the or connective. So next example, for the fourth example, we have the negation or the not connective and the implication or the if then connective. So for the if then connective, we'll be adding if before the letter that comes with before the symbol or the connective and then after the statement. So let's see the converted statement to discuss further. So the converted statement will be If I am not going to the basketball game, then I'm not going to a movie. So as you can see, for the S statement, since it is the statement that comes before the implication or the if then connective, so we added if before the S statement and then after the S statement. And we just simply apply the negation or not connective to the R statement, which is I'm going to a movie, to I am not going to a movie by adding the not connective here. So for the next or fifth example, we have the biconditional or the if and only if connective, and we have the P and Q statements, which is today is Friday, then it is raining. So will be for the converted statement, it will be it is raining if and only if today is Friday. So we just simply connected or combined the two statements by applying the biconditional or the if and only if connective here. Then moving on, we have the last example for the letters and symbols to language. So we have a multiple letters and symbols here. So for the bracket, we use brackets to avoid confusions because we have a more than two letters and more than two conjunctives. So we have the negation or the not connective, then the disjunctive or the or connective, and the implication or the if then connective. So we have these statements Q or S, it is raining, I am going to a movie, and I'm not going to the basketball game. So the converted statement will be if it is raining, then I'm going to a movie or I'm going to the basketball game. As you can see, since the statement Q comes before the implication symbol or the if then connective, we added if before the Q statement and then after the Q statement. Then connecting the second statement, which is the R statement, I am going to a movie, followed by the disjunctive or connective here, then followed by the last statement, which is the S statement, I am going to the basketball game. Again, since we have a negation symbol or negation connective before the statement S, and there's already a not word on the original statement, we will just simply omit the not word to apply the negation or the not connective in the S statement. So that's it for the letters and symbols to language examples. Now we'll be having a set of examples from symbols and letters to language. So again, let P be the sun is shining, Q it is raining, and lastly R for the ground is wet. So here we only have 3 letters or 3 statements. So for the first example, we have if it is raining, then the sun is not shining. So the converted letter or symbols will be the Q statement followed by the implication or the if then connective, since the if then is applied to the Q statement. As you can see, the if is added to before the Q statement and then after the Q statement, then followed by a negation symbol and the P statement. So as you can see, there's the P statement or the original statement of letter P is different from the is differ in structure based on the example. So there's already a not word here in the example. So to apply it to the original statement, we will just simply add a negation or not connective before the letter or the statement that represents the statement. Next is the it is raining and the ground is wet. So this example is a little easier than the first examples because we will just be using the conjunctive or the and connective to combine the two letters or the two statements. So here we have the Q statement followed by a conjunctive or the and connective and the R statement. Next, we have the ground is wet if and only if it is raining and the sun is shining. So we have the PQR statements. So for the converted symbols and letters, so we use brackets here because we have more than two letters and symbols and also to avoid confusion in converting the language to letters and symbols. So first we have the R statement, which is the ground is wet, followed by the biconditional or the if and only if connective that is stated here in the example, then followed by the Q statement, which is it is raining, and a conjunctive or the end connective since we have end here, and a negation or a not connective then letter P or the P statement, since as you can see from the original P statement that the sun is shining differs from the statement indicated here in the example, since we already have a not word here in the example, so we'll be adding a negation or not connective before the P statement to apply the not connective. So for the fourth example, if the sun is shining and it is raining, then the ground is wet. So again, we'll be using brackets here. So P, first let's discuss this inside what's inside the bracket. So we have the P statement, which is the sun is shining, and the conjunctive or the end connective, followed by the Q statement, it is raining. So this simply explains or describes or represent the here in the example, the statement, the sun is shining and it is raining. So, since in this combined sentence or statement, there's an implication or the if-then connective. As you can see here in the example statement, if is added before the combined statements and then is added after the combined statement. So we will be adding the implication or the if-then connective after this combined letters and symbols. So next, we will just simply add R for the ground is wet, since there's no changes from the example to the original statement here. And lastly, for the fifth example, we have if the ground is not wet, then it is not raining and the sun is shining. So we have three statements or three letters here, and of course, as you can see from the example statement, there are more than two connectives. So here we will be also using brackets to avoid any confusion. So for the first statement, part of the statements, let's discuss first the negation or the not connective in the letter R. Since the letter R statement or the original statement of R differs from the statement stated in the example, the original statement is the ground is wet, and for the example statement, we already have the not word. So we will just simply add the negation or the not connective before the R statement. Then, as you can see, it is followed by the implication symbol or the if then connective, because if is added to the um, our statement and then is added after the statement. And next, we have a negation or the not connective followed by the Q statement, since the original statement again differ from the example statement. So in the example statement, there's already a not connective, so um, we will just add the negation or the not connective before the Q statement or the letter Q, and followed by the conjunctive or and connective, then the letter P to combine the two statements, since we have a and connective here in the example. So that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learn a lot about the logical connectives or different kinds of connectives.